Welcome back to the Gaming Stooges top 10 games of 2016.
What are you still
It
doing
is
here?
still 20 it is still 2019. And in the last part,
We took fucking forever to
Len-
do our honorable mentions and our 10 through 6s.
we took too fucking long to do our
So
shit.
I have concocted
So-
a strategy where we will each have 5 minutes and I will time it to talk about each of our games, maybe 7 minutes for our number ones.
Shantae Half Genie Hero is my number 7. I thought the game was pretty fun. It's a
But-
pretty decent Metroidvania, but... Oh, what?
Landon,
I thought I was still on number 7.
No, that's fine. You can keep going, but Half Genie Hero is your number 8.
I bumped it up. I swapped it
Foiled.
around.
It's just
Foiled again.
it's just gonna keep on ascending until it goes into negative integers.
Okay, anyway,
I can change my list as I feel.
okay, whatever.
It's a living list. Lists are dead.
Last time on Gaming Stooges, Landon said, my number 5 is Senran, I talked about it in the reviews, blah, blah, blah. And now
Actually,
the
no, I
exciting
didn't.
conclusion.
That is
My
not
number-
what was said.
My number 5...
Last time on Gaming Stooges, Landon said Senator Conqueror was his number 6. Faggot.
Ooh.
6. Yeah, well, I was bumping it up for you.
I can change my
Yeah,
list.
You can't,
I only have
you
that
can't change
power.
this list.
Go change your own fucking list, you piece of shit.
Alright, anyway.
My
We're
num-
gonna move on to
my number
Don't touch my
move on.
waifus. Don't touch my
We're gonna move
waifus.
on to
Fuck you.
our number 5s. Jack, go ahead. Your time starts as soon as you reveal what it is.
I just want to speak. My number 5
No.
is Senran
No.
Kagura Estival Versus for the PlayStation 4.
Mine was for the Vita.
But you played it on the PS4 and the Vita.
So, mine specifically was number 6 for the Vita.
But you didn't say that, and it's too little, too late. So,
I'm
Senran,
eating into your 5 minutes.
I don't care. I'm gonna keep it short. We already talked
I
about it
know.
in the review, but I'm still gonna say a little bit anyway. It's a fun game. It's not gameplay wise, it's nothing spectacular, but it doesn't really need to be because it's still a really fun game with great characters. And even though the story isn't the strongest in the series, I love the character interactions in the game. Like all the characters between different schools, just like casually talking with each other and, not being at each other's throats all the time. It makes for just fun cutscenes and happenings, and I enjoy that. And I mean, it's of course, still the Senran niche, and if you don't enjoy the Senran niche,
You're wrong.
then you're wrong, of course, but you're also not going to like this game. It's not going to change your mind with its mind-blowing gameplay, but if you're like me and you like some anime titty, then by golly gee, you're going to enjoy
If
this.
you like fun,
Anime titty.
Yeah.
you fucking Nazi.
Yeah. Okay.
If you like good games.
Okay, Cloud, it's your turn.
Alright. My number 5 is Mega Man Kawaii Des. And by that,
What?
I mean Kirby Planet Robobot.
Mighty number 9.
No. Kirby Planet
Titanfall 2.
Kirby Planet Robobot. Kirby Planet Robobot. Actually, I was very impressed with Planet Robobot. I played Triple Deluxe. I played most of all of the recent Kirby games. I think the only one I'm really missing is Return to Dreamland. But Planet Robobot is really fun. The level design is your typical Kirby, although there's a few settings that I like a little bit more than the typical Kirby. The main gimmick of the game is you pilot a robot, and that robot actually adapts to whatever powers that you may have when you go into it, whatever your absorbing powers are, and that's why I decided to call it Mega Man Kawaii Des. But
Kirby Mecha.
You can also absorb powers when you're in the
yes,
robot.
you can also absorb powers when you're in the robot. But yeah, I did not think that, because the Hypernova ability from Triple Deluxe was really just a gimmick. Like, you go like through like 10 feet of level and you just suck everything up. But the way that they incorporate the robot in this game, like I actually have a lot of fucking fun playing as the robot. Like I don't really mind it. It's actually a blast. Other than that, it is, just like Triple Deluxe, just in my opinion, better in pretty much every way. The boss encounters, most of them were more fun. Like I said, the main attraction of the game is by far much more enjoyable. I liked being able to do Meta Nightmare after you beat the game. That was a lot of fun, actually. I think I had like basically finished a Meta Nightmare run. The mini games are, they're kind of there. I did actually play like pretty much everything.
Hey, did we review this game?
I did actually like play like pretty much every aspect of Kirby Planet Robobot because I enjoyed it that much. I mean, there's not really much else to say. I don't want to spoil, it's a Kirby game, but I still don't want to spoil like the final encounters. But the final encounter, probably one of my favorite in any Kirby game ever. It was that enjoyable. It was that good. There was like 5 phases to it, and I was like engrossed in it. I will admit it does have a connection to a previous Kirby game, which is kind of cool. But yeah, no, it's a fun game. If
you liked hearing about this game, then go watch the review. There was one point made, but I don't know if it was actually uploaded.
I don't even remember, honestly.
But yeah, Kirby
Okay,
Planet
okay.
Robobot. Basically every other Kirby game, but better than most of them anyway. That's all I gotta say, and I'm sticking to it. Justin, you can go ahead.
I don't remember what number we're on.
Number 5.
5
Oh, is that what comes after 6?
When you're counting,
No.
in
yeah,
backwards.
I was gonna say when you're counting
yes.
backwards, yeah.
My number 5 is Durgan Bull's Weenies. Toast. Whatever. I don't know. It's pretty much like the first game, really, because there's a lot of reused story segments in that game with the addition of just some movie characters thrown in. That's kind of all there is to it, really. Aside from the fact that
Isn't that how a Dragon Ball game works?
It just
it
just improves upon the last game in the same series, but just kind of incrementally.
Well, the thing is that all the other games actually followed the plots of the other series, where Xenoverse kind of like deviates a little bit. But I kind of like that Ginyu got Trunks' body because it just kind of cements the fact that he's fucking useless. But besides that, I do like the more customization options. I like the fact that Saiyans aren't the only ones restricted to a transformation anymore, because I thought that was kind of bullshit. I also like the fact that they kind of got rid of they did get rid of the unlimited key thing, because that was bullshit. And I love how they got rid of the fucking super armor. Fuck you, Cell, you goddamn green piece of shit. Fucking you pickle ass motherfucker.
But he would totally hug you if that was something he did.
Yeah, well, they got rid of that line in this game, so fuck him.
I'm so sad.
But yeah, they gave you a more abundance of moves, and they allow you to buy the fucking more bullshit moves that were in like the first game. Thank fucking God Knuckles. Like, except I think a lot of those are like for the tokens. Fuck that. If I can buy them, I'm doing it. Granted, parallel quests aren't as bullshit as they were last time, because the fucking conditions actually fucking work. But there's still some times where you don't get what you want, even though the drop rate is a lot better than it used to be. Really, I don't know what else to say other than the fact that they improve more of like the online community system. And they're continuing to support it, which is much better than a certain other anime Namco Bandai game that's utter shit. And from what I hear, it has a completely dead community. So, there's that, I guess. I guess that's it.
All right. Go ahead, Landon, and tell us your number 5.
My number 5 is Tokyo Mirage Session Sharp FE. It is a fun game. It's an RPG for the Wii U. It is based in Tokyo during the, well, modern times, quote unquote. It is a crossover between Shimbad and the
I
Fire
love
Emblem
how
series.
you never seriously pronounce that.
And it is not what you were expecting when you heard about the series, but it's pretty fucking good shit. Is you got the main character's Itsuki-kun, and he's like, "What's up?" And then his best childhood friends are there, and they join a entertainment industry like agency, and shit gets real when they go into the idol sphere and become Mirage Masters and team up with such stars as Chrom from the Fire Emblem Awakening and other Fire Emblem characters from the Fire Emblem Awakening and other Fire Emblem games. The game's fun, the combat's pretty fun. It's based on around a session system where you link attacks with other characters to do a pretty nasty combo on other characters. But the chain is based off of the weapon triangle of the Fire Emblem games and the magic, weakness system of the, games. It fuses the two elements of the two series pretty well. It feels more like a Persona-esque game than it does a Fire Emblem game. No, that's not that bad in the long run. It is still fun, and I enjoy it.
All right.
Honestly,
I will admit
the way that game plays. Oh, okay.
that took longer than most of Landon's previous slots. So, yeah.
I didn't know that they made. Now that I watched it, it's like, wow, this sounds like fucking Macross. It's like fighting with music. Look at that.
All right. So, on to our number 4s with Jack starting us off.
Oh my god. It's my turn, and my number 7 is Shantae Half Genie Hero.
Jeez.
That's
That's what Landon keeps saying it is, therefore it must be true. It's actually my number 4, for those who can count.
You spoiled it.
Which
I can't watch this anymore.
does not include
I can't
me.
watch this anymore.
I don't think any of us can count, except for Cloud, I guess.
I can count.
Hey,
But go ahead, tell us about Shantae.
Half Genie Hero. Different, but not bad different. The end.
You've only...
But
I was going to say,
Well,
you've only
that's
taken
more
20
descriptive
seconds.
That's more descriptive than Landon.
It's that's true. It's much less.
no way, I talked about the game.
a little bit. It's much less of a Metroidvania game than the first 3 games, as in it's more or less just a linear platformer with a lot of collectibles in it. But I still liked it all the same. Really, my biggest issue with the game is that there is quite a bit of backtracking. Although, if it were like a traditional Metroidvania game, I wouldn't have too much of a problem with that. But so it's a tiny bit of a problem here. And also, the game is pretty lacking in content compared to, or at least compared to Pirate's Curse, which was also kind of a problem that I had with
Risky's Revenge.
excuse me. I'm sorry. Risky's Revenge was also really short. I do like the way that the transformations were incorporated in this game. It's really quick. It's much faster than it is in the first 2 games. So the whole game just like flows a lot better when transforming. The dialogue in this game is just as funny as it was in Pirate's Curse, if not funnier. I fucking love the art style in this game. Like, it really should. Like, as much as I do love the pixel art.
Now we can have more
Pirate's
detailed
Curse,
titties.
This game looks so much better. It's really easy on the eyes, and the music, as usual, is pretty fucking good. Some themes are like not reused but remixed for this game. But it's not necessarily an issue. It's still overall, a game that I really enjoyed playing. Although they are going to have more like as DLC in the future, but as it stands, um, there needs to be more of it. Is my biggest complaint, and that's all I have to say about that.
All right. My number 4 is Akira Toriyama and DeviantArt's Dirty Little Love Child, the sequel, also known as Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2.
I don't get it.
It's basically Xenoverse 1, but infinitely better in every single way. Period. Except for like one thing. But the story is arguably, I mean, it depends on how you feel about the main antagonist compared to the main antagonist of the first game. But I do appreciate that the final arc is a little bit longer. There's actually more fighting, and there's that goes on with the main antagonist than you do with the one from the first game. Like I was saying, like it has been said with everybody else, it's if it was something that happened in Xenoverse 1 gameplay wise, they improved on it, or if it was something bad, they removed it from Xenoverse 2. There's no super armor, there's no infinite ki with Super Saiyans. In fact, they don't even drain their ki, they just have a penalty to what they gain back. Everybody has some sort of transformation. The instructors are much better handled. That's something that was not really talked about, but rather than have to like randomly find one in the hub world and then like hope that after a few parallel quests they'll want to do a quest with you, you find them in the hub world. They're always in that same location. You do all of their quests at your in the order that they want you to do them at your leisure. You can do them all at once. You can decide to come back later, but there's no random number generation when it comes to the instructors, which I really appreciate. There's also, the hub world is much more interesting. It's not like 3 little areas that are confined in a dome, and like there's a lot to explore, and you can eventually actually fly or get a flying license to be able to fly around and explore that area fully. It's huge, and I think one of my complaints when it comes to it is it takes a very long time to load. Even after patches, like they claimed that one of the patches would alleviate load times. I didn't see it. It still takes forever to load.
Oh, I don't think you tried it, but the beta was even worse.
I did have the beta, and the beta was pretty bad too. The parallel quests, there's almost double what the base game from Xenoverse 1 had, and a lot of those, actually almost all of like half of the a good half of those are like recycled from Xenoverse 1. But there's a lot of interesting new ones that, take the new characters and that they added from the movies and stuff like that, and put little spins on them, cool little twists like the first game did with their set of parallel quests. I was a little disappointed to find there was some, not as many new characters as you might have expected, but the roster is very solid, and there's a lot of really interesting characters. Hit's really cool. Having Goku Black is, pretty nice. Then you have, pretty much all of your other characters from the first game, and you have characters like Zarbon, Dodoria, Slug, Turles. Cooler was obviously an awesome addition. Janemba, he's good too.
Talk about the best one. Talk about the best new edition. Talk about him.
I can't. Which one is it, Landon? Nail. Oh yeah, there's speaking of Nail, there's 5 areas that are based on the different races, which are carryover from this first game. I'm running out of time, but I'll be able to finish this pretty quick. You actually do little different things, including you can actually make what are called QQ bangs, which can replace the stats of your equipment. Another really good addition. Just like Justin said, though, with skills and like the shops, the way that they work, much more convenient. Just everything about the game is much more convenient, much more streamlined, much better. The only thing like Landon had also said there's a big problem with if you want to make a new character, you have to redo the entire story. It is alleviated a little bit by a bonus item that you can get after you beat the main game with one character, but it's still take it or leave it. It's a lot harder on people who want to make multiple characters, but for people who are only making the one character, it's definitely by far a much better experience all around. But I personally think it is a far and beyond better than the first one. Really enjoyed it. Really great game. I'm still playing it because of the DLC that's been coming out, and that's basically all I have to say. Go ahead, Justin. You're number 5.
5 minutes, Frieza.
I literally had 5 minutes and 3 seconds.
But Cloud, Justin already said his number 5.
Oh wait, 4. Wait, 4. Yeah, 4. Fuck! Oh my god, I'm so stupid.
And I said you were the only one that could count. I am
ashamed in myself too.
I disagreed with that statement from the beginning, so
I can't believe I said number 5.
in the end, I win again.
Okay, Justin, you're number 4. My bad.
My number 4 is Toot and Fart.
Toot and fart. Titty drop.
Heck.
I like the game because there's high mobility, there's pew-pews everywhere, and there are Japanese-style mechs as opposed to the Western mechs that we've been getting for ages, which I did not hate, but I like the more like mobile and just overall crazy designs of more Japanese-style mechs, which this game definitely has a lot of influences. Before, let's just get the obvious joke out of the way, and yes, this is Attack on Titanfall. If the fucking everything in the game wasn't obvious enough. I mean, let's see. You got grappling hooks, you got Titans, you got the fact that you can climb on a Titan, and the fact that there's a bunch of Titans attacking a wall at some point.
I really wish that I knew how to sing the first opening to the show, because I would have started yelling it as soon as you mentioned it.
No,
Titan.
you know what? I'm fucking German. I don't even know how to sing that song. Because that song is entirely in German, you would embarrass yourself.
Ask Goofy.
Well, it's half in Japanese and half in German. It's really fucking weird, but go on.
But yeah, there is a wall, by the way, that the Titans attack. I'm pretty sure if Jack completed the game, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, there is a wall that gets attacked by the Titans. So it's like, ha, ha, ha. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but what the fuck, guys? It also doesn't help the... I'm not too familiar with Attack on Titan, but I think the 3D maneuvering gear is basically the jetpacks in Titanfall.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, it's pretty much Attack on Titan with robots. I don't know. What the fuck? Anyway, but yeah, I like the game because honestly, I like BT more than Fuckface McGee on Call of Duty, because my problem with that was that if you make a robot way too human, he's basically a human with metal skin. I do not see him as a robot at that point. But BT was more like, I don't know, like Optimus Prime, where he was a machine, he was intelligent, but he didn't quite understand the way humans worked. He's still more grounded with humans since he is man-made, but he still has that, like, RoboCop kind of like, or not RoboCop, but like, what's that movie? No, I can't. Maybe it was RoboCop. I forget if RoboCop was the one that had the directives that robots couldn't, like, turn on you and shit like that. But they pretty much follow, like, the rule of robotics. Essentially, that's what that was. So they kind of do act like they're intelligent, but not intelligent enough to just, like, overthrow you or anything like that. And I just like, I mean, I know it was kind of predictable with certain parts of the game, but I just like the interactions with BT because some of them are actually genuinely funny. Because whereas you're flat as a board, most of the character actually comes from BT because of the way you talk to him and the way he responds to you. So I do think they did succeed in the whole fact about actually getting you to care about BT, since, you know, that was the whole fucking point. This isn't like, oh, your commanding officer just constantly following around and barking orders at you because he's completely fucking useless. Your acting partner is pretty much equal with you because you're his pilot and he's your Titan. You pretty much can't get through the game without him. So you're both equally useful, which is something I don't think Call of Duty has ever really done. So I do enjoy the fact that it's not just some AI guy that can't do anything. BT actually can act on his own. In fact, at any point of the campaign, you could just jump out of BT if you don't feel like sitting in him, and he will just attack on his own. He will die if you leave him in a dangerous situation, and if BT dies, you will lose even if you weren't actually inside of him at the time. So don't do that. But anyway, I like the gameplay because it's very Doom-like. It's very fast-paced and, shit like I said. And I like the story because I think even though it's kind of predictable, it does have some interesting takes and shit. And the level design is actually pretty good. Like, I like that level. That was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
And jumping around a fucking fleet. That's badass. But, yeah, like, overall, I think Respawn did a really good job of making Titanfall, 2 an actual, have, a good campaign in a world where shooters have really shitty campaigns. I just hope that EA doesn't fuck them, and
You have
we never
5
see a
minutes.
yeah,
Go
we
ahead,
never
finish
see a
up.
Titanfall 3. Yeah, because sales are bad. It's not like we put it between fucking Call of Duty, Skyrim, and Battlefield, like fuckheads. So I hope we still get a Titanfall 3 out of this, despite EA being a bunch of fucking dipshits.
All right, Landon, go ahead and tell us your number 4. I got it right this time.
WWE 2K.
What?
Nice.
Wait,
Wrong year.
no, because 2K, whenever they have a 2K, it actually is for the next year.
Well, I always keep forgetting
Yeah.
they do that stupid shit.
Is that actually serious? Is that
You don't-
actually serious, or are we waiting for the actual one?
What I like about WWE 2K17 is that you've got John Cena in it, and man, is he not a really good wrestler. Although I cannot see him in the game, but I assume he's there because all of my characters
No,
get KO'd at some point.
no. See.
It is unfortunate.
You know which one John Cena.
Wait,
You know which one John
This is something
Cena-
that you typed in before.
You know which one John Cena is because he's the only character box that's empty.
Well, I mean, when I'm in the ring trying to take him down, I can never see him, so I just get my ass kicked.
Isn't this something that you typed
Yeah,
out
'cause
before,
I- 'cause-
6 months ago?
Oh wait, I was gonna say
What? I don't know what you guys are talking about. This is literally my legit number 4. I really enjoy this game only because I cannot see John Cena and he beats my ass. I have no other knowledge of this game other than that because that's all I do is I make custom characters that look like Shovel Knight and fight John Cena.
Wait, no, he did this. He did this last year, but he called it 2K16.
No, I didn't.
Landon, can I
I
ask you
don't,
something?
no, I don't think you did.
Is John Cena just your air
What?
friend?
John Cena is my air friend. I think he's everyone's air friend, though.
Was that actually your number 4? Or would you like to tell us what your real number 4 is?
To answer your questions, oh fuck no, and
Well, isn't
My-
no.
My real number 4 is uncarded 4, no carts allowed.
Oh my god.
In this game, there are no carts. There's only
But
you, your...
Orlando, there's a
But
level where you drive a buggy.
that is not a go-kart.
I have no carts and I must scream.
That's all I have to say.
He's right, you know.
That's all I have to say, is
It's
uncarded,
not uncarded.
You
uncarded 4, there's no carts allowed, is a bad game because there's no carts.
you only took 40 seconds. Are you sure there's nothing else you want to say about it?
I have to infiltrate the watchtower. Hold up.
What?
I know I am. It's time to return these highlands to being the
Okay.
peaceful place they were meant to be.
That's
Right. Let's go, go, go! Huh? Uncharted 4 is a cool game. It has a cool story, but the big thing I like about most of it is that it improves the stealth mechanics over the first 3 games, which did not have any stealth mechanics.
What?
What?
I mean, he's not wrong. There really aren't any like stealth mechanics. I mean, there are
Yeah.
like silent takedowns that you
But
can
that's not really-
do, but it's barely a mechanic.
Yeah. That's my biggest thing. Go watch the Uncharted 4, oh, that's right, we're still waiting on number 2. Never mind.
All right. So, that all you wanted to get out of your system for Uncharted 4? No carts allowed?
Soldat! I have to kill it! I have to kill it! I have to kill Soldats! What?
Okay, so anyway, my
so
number,
you're number
3.
3, Jack.
Okay, so anyway, my number 3 is Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Stop that.
Oh man. Who else has Pokemon Sun and Moon for their number 3 and wants to talk about it with me?
Does that mean I
No.
get to beat the shit out of you?
Is
Oh,
that
boy.
your number? Is that your number 3 as well, Justin?
Well, it just says Pokemon, but I'm going to assume it's Moon.
Okay, so you guys have 10 minutes to share what you want to about it. Then
Ew.
Well,
no, more like
no,
7.
because they both have it.
How about? I mean,
That doesn't matter.
We'll
More like
we'll-
7.
all right, fine.
We'll say
fine,
seven.
whatever.
We'll say
Okay.
7. You have 7 minutes.
Pokemon Sun and Moon is
7.5.
fun-
7.5.
Pokemon Sun and Moon is a good iteration in the Pokemon series that improves on basically everything that X and Y did wrong, with the exception of frame rate. I like that this game is like an actual challenge. Like, this game, in some parts, is pretty fucking hard.
Wishy-washy.
Like certain totem Pokemon, depending on I mean, it's all up to like personal experience, because like, you know, I don't know,
Your own team
it
comp.
all depends on how much you grind or like what team you have, but like certain totem Pokemon can be really difficult, and Guzma always gives me shit.
You know, every
Like-
fight. Why did I just say that so weird? Every fight that I've ever,
Fight?
every fight that I've ever had with Guzma, I have completely steamrolled him.
I am the opposite. Every fight that I have against him, I've never lost
No,
completely, but he almost takes out my entire team like every single time.
Like, what's the Pokemon that gives you the most shit?
Golisopod.
I just fucking bring out Beerus Incineroar, and I just nuke his ass.
See, I'd
You don't have the fire type, do you?
well, I had a fire type, or like in my initial playthrough, I had a fire type, but it was Salazzle, and Golisopod is kind of a tank, and Salazzle, if it doesn't take out something in one hit, is probably gonna die in the next turn.
Yeah. If I
Um,
didn't use like my fire types, I'd just have garbage out, and he'd just tank everything.
And on top of that, the only Pokemon I had that was... And whatever. Either way, certain parts of the game are hard.
Yeah.
I like that. You know, the game is actually a real challenge compared to X and Y, which was piss easy.
Yeah.
I love the new Pokemon designs. Like, there are, like, very few that I dislike
Mhm.
in this generation. Trying to think of one off the top of my head. I really can't, honestly. I mean, like, I could complain about how Yungoos and Gumshoos's design resembles a certain president-elect, but I mean, that wasn't intentional, and plus that joke has been done to death, so I'm just
Jack,
gonna...
Jack.
Yes, I know.
Jack.
Mhm.
Is that the president-elect in 2019?
He's
Okay,
the
you're right.
current
He is-
president.
He's currently the
Or
president. I'm
possibly
sorry.
impeached,
I'm
who
sorry.
knows?
Yeah. Who?
Eh?
We do, but we're not going to tell you.
Yeah, that's spoilers.
But,
We're not
Fucking-
we're not allowed to tell people what happens in the future.
like, and I do think the customization is better than X and Y, because X and Y was more about clothes and shit. I mean that's the point with customization, but I think there's more of it. And it's done better.
It was like Pokemon X and Y is just a Bratz game with Pokemon.
A what?
A Bratz game.
Yeah, I
Um,
never really liked the whole style system. That was stupid.
yeah, I. On top of that, I like the art style a lot more in X and Y. Like, I love the. I wasn't like looking back. The chibi models that they use in X and Y are really awkward looking. Uh, um, and on top of that, like the characters in this game. What?
I'm in the middle of a fight, and I'm fighting 3 soldiers, and they all healed the same unit.
Um,
Sorry.
Continue.
but the characters in this game are fucking awesome.
No, I actually do look like a
Like,
nubile young girl.
Yeah. I mean, like, support characters, I mean, obviously, Justin will argue against how. I personally didn't have a problem with him, but, like, overall, I'd say this is one of the strongest cast of characters in the Pokemon series.
Like, my initial impression with Gladion was, oh god, it's an edgelord. And then when I met him, I went, oh god, it's an edgelord. And then a little bit later, it's like, oh god, this edgelord wants to be my friend. And then after a while, I kind of dropped the edgelord thing, because eventually he actually seemed pretty decent.
And I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't, like, in the beginning of the game, I wasn't a huge fan of Lily.
I like her character development.
Yes, sure, her character development is amazing. Like, she's one of the most, like, well, she's probably, like,
She completed a trial.
my favorite, like,
The bridge.
she did. She did. She's probably, like, my favorite, one of my favorite Pokemon characters, just, like, based completely on, like, their character, honestly. She's just a really well-developed and fleshed out character that has an intriguing backstory.
I will say, I think Lily is pretty much the only character in Pokemon to ever give me feels about anything.
I love the enemy team in this game.
Team Skull.
It's like, here's the thing. Team Flare was a stupid team that took itself way too seriously. Team Skull is a stupid team that doesn't take itself seriously, and that's what I love
They
about
just like
them.
to wave their arms around.
Yeah, it's like their entire, like, attitude and demeanor and just, like, their theme song, just everything about them is just incredibly lovable. It's like, cuz it's like, they're not a real threat to anyone, so they're just like, I don't know, it's just
It also doesn't. I mean, it also helps that Guzma isn't just some fucking maniac, and he's actually. I mean, if you actually learn about Guzma, he's actually a little bit sympathetic.
yeah, like, it's like, well, getting into that would be spoilers.
Well, yeah, but you'd learn if you actually played all of it.
Yeah, but so yeah, I think that's enough about the characters. I love the region. The region is really good. The addition of trials over gym leaders and fighting the island Kahuna is a nice change of pace from the original or the usual, I should say. 8 gym leaders mechanic. And I don't think I have much else to say about it unless you wanted to add more.
You hit 7.5, so you can wrap it up.
Yeah, I pretty much I like the way the story flowed. I like the fact that it's darker. Like, this kid's kind of heavy sometimes. Like, fuck. Like, just capturing the legendary and what Lily says to you kind of made me feel bad about it. It's like, god damn it, Lily, don't do this to me. And I would fuck Lily's mom hard.
Whoa, shit, but don't tell anyone what Lily's mom is. That's Spillers.
No, but she is hot.
Okay. All right. So that was
Anyway.
both Jack and Justin's number 3. Yes, number 3.
Cloud,
So
your turn.
my number 3, and then we're going to skip over to Landon. So Landon, I hope you're prepared. Because I'm not
Nope.
going to be taking anywhere near as long as these two because they shared one. My number 3 is fucking Kingdom Hearts 3. Oh, wait. That game didn't come out yet. Fuck.
Stop going into the future.
Okay, so my number...
It is out in 2019, though.
And it is fantastic, I'm sure.
Or it might be. It might be.
It might be. It's
we
it's
can't tell
probably
you.
been delayed till 2022. But no, my number 3 is actually Anime Boys and Cup Noodles, also known as Final Fantasy 15. I originally was not going to play this game off of the fact that I had not been interested in Final Fantasy entries since after 10, because I didn't really like the direction the series was going, and I was starting to hear a lot of good things about 15 from even people that had played previous Final Fantasies, didn't care for them, and wanted Final Fantasy to kind of like rejuvenate itself a bit, and I picked it up, and it took me a couple of hours to really start to appreciate it, but once I did, I fell in love with the game. The main 4 characters, I like the fact that it sticks to just 4. It reminds me of like the first couple of games in the series where it just had the 4 heroes of light. The 4 main characters, Noctis, who is your actual player character, Ignis, Gladiolus, and Prompto, are actually all really charming, and their interactions fleshing out their characters make them really likable and really believable. Like the way that they act with each other, it feels like just 4 friends that just just kind of hang out and just happen to be saving the world together, or their own world in this case. It starts off a lot different from a lot of previous Final Fantasy games in that it's a lot more opened up at the very beginning, whereas most Final Fantasy games start off closed and then open up. The cone is in reverse, where it starts off opened up and then it closes up for a bit. But I really, really like the fact that it's such a big sprawling world that you can explore, and you get a car that you can drive. I will admit, it feels kind of mundane that you take a car. You have the option of fast travel, but it does feel kind of mundane that certain times you have to actually ride a car, and you even have to refuel that car. But combat, I took a little bit to get into because it was kind of weird, but I actually like it. It kind of reminds me of Kingdom Hearts, honestly. It's just a little bit different with the controls. But you actually can equip multiple weapons at once, which you can change with the directional pad, and you can even equip spells that you can forge off of the 3 main elements. There's also a 4th spell that you can open up later on in the game, like much later. The 3 elements, like I don't know, I think that's probably one of the only things I didn't care about, like battle mechanic wise, is I didn't really care for the elemental spells. They weren't really all that interesting. But like fighting enemies with your actual weapons is actually a lot of fun. You can do like warp strikes, and you can flesh out your grid, which is the sphere grid from Final Fantasy X, and that will open up among other things, it opens up more options for you in battle. You can also command the other 3 characters to like help you out and do certain skills, which you can assign which skill they're actually going to use when they help you. So there's a lot of choices that you can make with how you're going to end up doing your battles. It's all in actual like real time. So it's like I said, it's like Kingdom Hearts, where it's like an action RPG, but it's handled a little bit differently the way that you go about it. But I like it. It's a little weird holding down you just hold down the same button in order to actually continue to do strings of attacks, but I got used to it for a while. The story it's mixed. Like when it focuses on like the fresh elements of the story, it's not like the most overly like intriguing thing. Like it's kind of standard fare. It's like nothing too over the top, but it's it gets its job done. But when it like brings back aspects of the older games in the series, it does such a good job of portraying older characters and older creatures and monsters and stuff in ways that like you hadn't seen before. Like Titan is this big fucking monstrous thing, and he slams his hand down on you, and you have to block it, and you fucking swat it away, and then you have to fight the Titan, and he's like 30,000 times your size. It's great. It's also fucking the game is fucking gorgeous. The music it's a little low key, but it gets its job done, and it sounds like Final Fantasy music. It doesn't sound like overly pretentious, not really true to its roots kind of thing like Final Fantasy 13 was. So, I mean, overall, Final Fantasy 15 it's a little bit different for a Final Fantasy game for people who are used to the older games, but it's really worth looking at, and I love it. That's basically all I have to say. Landon, go ahead. 5 minutes and 1 second. I really need to fucking calm my shit down.
Stop that.
Oh man, Cloud, you're a maniac.
I am.
I will destroy you later.
Landon, it's your turn.
Jack,
Yes,
do you like boxes?
I do like boxes. Do you like boxes?
Cloud, do you like
I
boxes?
like boxes. We've played Cards Against Humanity
Justin!
with the box expansion before.
Justin!
Oh.
Do you like boys?
Oh. Well, I'll go home now.
Then you guys would love Box Boy, the exciting sequel to Box Boy, a 3DS puzzle game made by HAL Laboratories, the same guys who did Kirby.
Oh my fucking
Still
god.
did.
And if you don't like boxes and boys, then
Gay.
you're fucking gay. Quote of the century
Hear it.
by Cloud.
Well, you're probably gay because you're fucking boys.
No, you're not fucking boys. Do you like boys? I didn't ask, do you fuck them, Justin? I just asked, do you like
He
boy?
didn't even ask if you like them romantically.
Oh, Jesus Christ, what the fuck's wrong with you? Why are you assuming things?
I mean, Justin, you like Doom Guy, don't you?
He's a boy. He's a boy.
He's
Doom
a
Guy is a boy.
boy. Quote unquote. Anyway, Box Boy, like I said, is a fun puzzle game. It's a sequel to Box Boy. I mean, the biggest difference between Box Boy and Box Boy is you have two sets of boxes stacks that you can make. If you don't understand just like how the game works, then go play the first game. More worlds, more fun puzzles. That's pretty much it. It's a good game. Go buy it on your 3DS. I'm looking forward to the third game. Alright.
Okay.
Oh man.
We will now move on to our number twos, starting with Jack.
Number 2. You know what stinks?
You?
Number 2, but not my number 2 game.
My
'cause this
number
game
two is poop.
is pretty darn great, if I do say so myself. My number 2 is Wood.
I get it.
And Landon gets it.
I don't get it.
For those who don't, which you don't get, Landon, what's Wood upside down?
Wood upside down and then reversed is Doom.
Dude.
Oh wow.
Number
Wow.
2 is Doom.
I'm retarded.
Pew, 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 pew. Anyway, Doom. Man, did I think this game was going to be shit? Because it's like, oh hey, Bethesda announced that they're making a reboot of Doom, or not
Oh,
necessarily
no.
a reboot, but it's like, oh boy, and it's just going to be called Doom. Like basically every other video game reboot is just a rename of the first game in the series. Oh, this is going to be good. And guess what? It actually was. This is like the most. This game does fucking everything right. It is like it perfectly encompasses everything that is Doom.
It's the most
It's fast.
modern 90s shooter
Yeah,
ever.
sorry. It's fast, it's violent, and it is the most fun FPS game I've probably, I don't want to say ever played, but it's like, it's up there. This game is fucking fantastic. It's like this game could have been fucked up so easily, but they just do everything right. There's a story in this game, but who gives a shit? Like honestly, I was never really
Neither
paying
does he.
attention. Yeah, exactly. Like the first fucking second in the game, like when Doom Guy fucking wakes up and he's like chained to a table, and then he sees like a monitor that's giving him like exposition, he just fucking punches it. As like a big like fuck you to like first-person shooters that try to have like deep and meaningful stories. It's just a game where you shoot aliens and demons and shit. You fucking like rip their skulls apart and shove their horns up their asses. There's like, it's just fucking fun. I barely have anything bad to say about it. Like, honestly, my biggest complaint about the game is that it takes fucking forever to load.
Yeah, and the first
Like,
load takes forever.
The first load takes forever, and respawns take forever too. And you know, this game doesn't fuck around either. Like, this game is hard, as it should be, being a Doom game. But like, rarely does it feel like unfair hard. Like, once in a while, I'll get off screen killed by a goddamn imp that I forgot to kill. Because, like, oh, it's just an imp.
Those
I'll
imps
take
are
care of it
fucking
later.
accurate.
Oh yeah. Like the variety in enemies. Although you do fight like, although you will see like the same kind of enemies like throughout the entirety of the game. You know, it's like that. I guess that is kind of another complaint that I have. You know, it's never like a bad. It's never not fun. To just fucking murder everything. It's just it's fun. That's all. I'm gonna stop before I repeat myself because I
All
already
right,
am.
so my number 2 is poop. Like I already mentioned it to Jack when he said what it's Overwatch. It's poop. No. Overwatch was a game that had come out and everybody I knew was talking about it, and it wasn't my cup of tea. I didn't think I wanted to play it because it was a team online shooter, and it's not really what I play. Like, I don't really play those games because I don't like playing online most of the time with other people. But after like really like looking into the game and like really liking the characters, I said okay. So I bought the game, and I ended up I really love the characters and the settings and just the world building that this game did, and it makes every bit of playing the game, you know, just in a regular game setting, just it's really enjoyable. It's kind of weird too because it's like Overwatch is as one article had dared to challenge for doing so, it isn't really a typical game that comes out nowadays where it has to be this big robust story and this big other adventure and there's all this other shit. It's literally just a game. You just put it in and you just pick a character and you play it, and that's it. You just play the fucking game, and
it doesn't
have a campaign. Which I don't mind that it doesn't. I really don't.
It's not necessarily a bad thing.
I do.
I will admit it. It did actually add a little bit. Because I don't think Jack has played it recently. But on top of adding a few characters, it also did add a new 3v3 mode, and it added It obviously added the competitive mode, which it does new things each season. With that, I've mostly stuck to quick play, but I have tested out the other stuff. It's pretty fun, and I will admit, Overwatch does, because of the fact that it is an online game, it has a reliance on who you're going to play against or how stable your connection is. I'll admit I didn't really have too much problems with either of those things. I did have a few games where like I would just completely fucking leave the voice chat because there was nobody talking, but at no point did I ever feel like there was like people being like really, horrible people without somebody checking them. And I've been able to play with friends a vast majority of the time, so it might be a little bit of bias being able to, play with friends about this game. But back to the characters, because this is a really big thing for me, which is why I like Overwatch so much, and I just kind of like mentioned it, but there's 4 categories of characters. There's offense, attack, there's defense, or offense and attack. It's the same thing. there's offense, defense, tank, and support. I was going to say healer, but not every support is actually healer. And there's about 5 or 6 characters per category. And each of those individual characters is very different from the next one. They each have a couple of abilities, and they have their own personalities as well. So each character is incredibly unique. I would be hard-pressed to find a person that doesn't like any single one character. That's how different they all are. There's bound to be some one character that you're going to pick them up and you're like, I like this character.
But Cloud, what if they think the game is shit?
Yeah.
Well,
what if I think the game is
well, that's
shit?
their opinion, and I'll respect it, but I'm going to have to respectfully disagree and tell them they're wrong. Because it's the Gaming Stooges way to tell someone you're wrong.
I respectfully think you're wrong.
Exactly.
Yep.
That doesn't sound Gaming Stooges at all.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's
you're right. You're
Fuck
right.
you, you're wrong.
Yeah, what is respect? But no, it's gorgeous, it's fun, all the characters are really great. It's surprisingly it's a game that you can pick it up and then you can come back to it weeks or months later and still have a fun time with it, like I did, because I did that. I had played it for a while, and then I ended up playing it over with my friends too, who has an Xbox One, so I got to play with his friends that he plays with too. But it's a game, and it's fun, and that's it. It's Overwatch. Landon, Justin, that's your turn. Justin, what's your number 2?
I don't know. What is it?
I don't know.
Potato salad.
Wait, can I guess?
It's potato salad.
It's potato
Show me
salad.
potato salad.
Survey says
No.
Bing!
I was referencing that early Family Guy episode that gets 50,000 reruns.
Hey, Justin,
Who's...
does your number 2 have a 2 in the title?
It might.
Preceded by a V?
Stop that, you fucking swine. But it is the Omni waifu, the one who is above all waifus. Otherwise known as Neptunia. Well, not the character. The character's Neptune. You get what I'm saying.
Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh. What do you call it? So, Cloud said some things about this game. So am I gonna say some things? I don't know.
You're gonna say
Well-
some things that you don't agree with, and then everything else you're just gonna be like, yeah.
I'm probably just gonna give my Neptune folder a look. Just to make sure it's all there. It's all nice and organized. Oh yeah. But I think my only I love the next form, but I think my only problem is that when they made the game harder, they made it in such a way where it's HDD does not give you the kind of boost that Victory did, and it's God damn it, Dale. Because it's they made it a little harder to get HDD, although by harder I mean now you can't use SP at all for it. You have to actually build a gauge, which means unless you are attacking, you will never be able to actually access HDD. But when you actually do use it, I feel like they heavily nerfed it. It's not as useful as it used to be. It still gives you that boost, but it's not the same kick it used to be.
So it's what they did to the original Super Saiyan form in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I guess. Especially since the next form is supposed to be go even further beyond. But what makes that worse is that you need two bars just to get all the way to the next form, and should you die, you will get knocked all the way back to your normal human form, and you will need 2 more bars to go all the way back. So the goddesses have the main goddesses, they have the biggest fucking weakness in the sense that if you utilize next form, you are wasting a lot of the EXE meter. And on top of that, if you want to use their most powerful next form exclusive skill, that's another 2 of the EXE bar. So you're using a lot of bars just to use that form and all of its abilities. So, I mean, not all of its abilities, but if you want to like absolutely destroy someone, you're gonna be shelling out like 4 bars every time you utilize the form. That's a lot, considering the fact that you have to actively attack to build that bar. And while they did make it not easy, easier for the simple fact that you need that bar to transform now, it's still the fact that if an enemy is constantly hammering away at you, skills do not count towards the EXE bar, which means if you're wasting time healing or buffing, you're not getting anything back. So you end up in a stalemate where you can't transform, or at least you can't transform to the degree that you want to, because you have to keep playing on the defensive. So,
Hey, Justin.
What?
I'm just going to pause it real quick. Was there anything else you wanted to say besides just talking about the EXE bar, because you've already gone through 3 minutes of talking about it?
It's long like my dick.
Okay, so I'm going to unpause and you can continue.
What you call it? But I think I like the fact that they added like little markers when you move around in the battlefield, because knowing me, I sometimes fucking lose track of where I'm going and how much movement I've actually used up. So sometimes I end up stopping in a really bad position, and it's like, shit.
Oh yeah, and they actually made formation attacks useful.
Yeah, now you actually get some sort of fucking benefit from it, and they actually indicate it with some like little ring effect to show, hey, you're all buddied up now. Now you can go beat someone's ass. I like I'm trying to remember. Yeah, they made it so like one thing I hated about Victory is that the coupling skills, which are skills that are only if you've got like one of your partners nearby, or maybe that wasn't a coupling skill. It was like a team skill.
They had to be paired with the character, like with the thing in the system.
Well, yeah, it had to be paired, but I think they changed the system in Victory 2 or V2, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
They did.
To where, as long as you're on the same battlefield, you can activate a team skill even if they're not technically paired with you. Which is good if you have certain characters that you want paired with other characters, but you still want to utilize their abilities. So in case like maybe you call them out on the field, then they can like work with whatever other character they're compatible with. And I still think it's a waste to have Nepgear on Neptune, because her thing is to break the damage limit, which is something that Neptune can do by herself ever since Victory. So that's kind of a waste to put those two together. You're better off just putting her with someone else like Noir or something.
All right, and you are at 5 minutes. Anything else you want to say?
I'm curious if Neptune's titties grew again this game. Because they didn't. She specifically mentioned it in Victory that her boobs got bigger, even though it's technically impossible by the lore of the game. They got bigger.
All right. And I think basically everything else I've already covered when I talked about it. So, Landon, it is your turn to tell us your number 2 and talk about it. Tell us about your poop.
My poop?
It's
Well, that was Shantae Half
Jesus Christ.
This is mine. Anyway, where the fuck am I?
Number 2.
Anyway,
You're on number 2, you ding.
no, where
It's
am
like
I
she's talk.
physically?
You're in your house.
Am I?
My God, Landon.
I think so. Just tell us your number 2.
I don't know what it is. You tell me.
It's on your.
I
It's
actually
on your
haven't.
own.
It's
the
Like
girl you have on
it's
the
one
the
of
girl
2
you have
games.
on the side.
But the
It's
thing
one of
is,
2
I don't know
games.
what the second
It's the
game
girl
is.
when you have.
Oh, what?
Oh.
What do you think the game is? Hold up. I want to hear what you think my last 2 games are. I'm intrigued to know.
I'm honestly drawing one of them is Fire Emblem. I
You-
think. Is that what this one is?
That was what this one is. This is Fire Emblem Fats.
All right,
There
go
we
ahead.
go.
Or Waifu Wars Fates. It's a game. It's actually, no, that's a lie. It's 3 games, as we talked about before. But I have them all in one cartridge, so I can do whatever I want. It's fun. It's fun. And it's fun. The others talked about it. I don't really care. And I don't care about saying anything else. There. My number 2
Honestly,
is Fire Emblem
considering that
Fates.
3 of us have already talked about the game, I don't even
Yeah.
blame you for that.
And me and Justin talked about it extensively enough. So, I mean, unless there's anything you wanted to say that differed from what we said.
Kagero is best waifu. That's not child character. There, I'll say that.
All right.
Because obviously
Okay.
Ophelia is the best waifu.
So
What am I saying?
we are going to move on to our number ones because these are
Because Owain's the best
yes.
waifu.
Because these are our biggest, our top favorite game of the year, we will each have 7 minutes. I don't think we will need all of them, but they're there in case we want them, because
I'll use them all.
it will be our last game for each of us on this list. Jack, you may start.
Well, my second to last.
We are number
Oh my
1. Hey!
goodness.
That's not going to date this video
Yeah.
at all.
No, because it's
But I will
2019.
say, I was going to say that meme is still going strong in 2019. Okay. So, my number 1 game,
Of 2016.
2016,
Number 1 so I can NTR her.
is...
Uncarded.
What's the
What?
fake out this year, Jack?
you know.
Lexine's
See, now
Quest
you're
2.
expecting it.
Mighty number
I was
9. No Man's Sky. Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker.
You actually-
WWE 2K17.
Landon, stop. You already named all of the games that I
Monster
wrote
Go
down.
Quest.
I know. RuneScape Classic. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Waifu War Fates. Tadpole Treble.
Let-
Vector
let-
Chronicles Drive.
Landon,
Wood.
stop.
It's
What?
Pokemon Go. He plays it every day.
Stop.
Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6.
Oh, goodness.
I win.
Well, you kind of already named everything.
E.T.
I
I
know.
was going to
Now,
say. I was going to say.
Now you have
Lexi's
to give
Meme
a-
Quest.
Clearly,
Now you have to give a real
Jack's
game.
number 1 is actually not a game, but Siva Gunner's YouTube account.
What?
Mm-hmm. High quality rips. Oh yeah, my
actually,
number 1 is Lazy Town the game. That's what it is.
actually, Lexine's Meme Quest, I guess, is a game. It's a Facebook game I play with my followers on the Lexine's Quest page. Join in anytime.
But I mean, you can't disprove that Lazy Town the game doesn't exist because Siva Gunner uploaded rips of it. Therefore, it exists.
All right, but what is your number 1 game of 2016, Jack?
Boom! My number 1 game of 2016 is Uncharted 4.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Who would have called that?
So surprising.
7 months ago.
You're all
Wow.
so
I know.
shocked.
Wow,
It's
what
o-
the
it's okay-
fuck?
it's
I
o-
have to go kill
it's
myself
okay.
now. Wow.
This is literally the same reactions you guys are going to give me when I say mine.
You
Wow, it's Pokemon! Wow! Wow, who saw that one coming?
You-
Wow!
I had a joke ready and everything. You fucking ruined it.
Oh wow, Justin, is yours Doom?
That's not fair because Landon's is.
I win top 10 games of the year!
I paused the timer, by the way. I'm not taking this off your time.
Okay. Okay, Landon, but here's the real question. Do you know what your game of the year is?
No, I don't. I'm still working on
See,
that.
he decided to spoil everybody else's because deep down he's dead inside because he can't decide on his own number 1.
No.
Shantae half genie hero.
No.
Aw.
When he says that he's still working on it, he means that he's literally developing it. It's Lexine's Quest 2.
You can't have a number 1 that isn't out yet.
My number
Yes,
1
I
is
can.
Resident Evil 7.
Alright.
See? He just did it.
Alright.
Actually, that's technically out by the time of this
Alright.
video.
It's not 2019.
Jack, go ahead and tell us about Uncharted 4.
Uncharted 4, hey, you already know that I love to suck Uncharted's dick. Why not do it some more?
Actually, we don't because no one finished their LP of number 2.
Shish. But I finished the first game.
So,
Anyway, shut the fuck up, Landon. I'm gonna talk about Uncharted. There are no carts in this game.
good. I enjoyed some of that game.
Anyway, Uncharted 4, they, like Doom, but to a lesser extent, they had the potential to fuck this up. Like, I had thought, much like anyone else, that the series was done after the third game and they were just going to move on to The Last of Us or whatever the fuck. But they were like, hey guys, we're going to make Uncharted 4. And I kind of had the same reaction that I thought when Toy Story 3 was announced, and I was like, oh, they're just doing it for the money. Like, but hey, Toy Story 3 turned out to be really good, and guess what? So did this game.
There seems to be a
Um,
running trend
the
where,
sto-
like, your favorite games of the year you were skeptical about.
I wasn't skeptical about Pirate's Curse.
True.
Okay, so Uncharted 4, story-wise, it's fucking great. Like, I love all the performances and characters. Gameplay-wise, it's more or less it's this same deal as the first three games, but like Landon said, they have a massively improved stealth mechanic, as in there's an actual stealth mechanic. Like, you can actually sneak around and like stealthily kill all of the enemies. Like, you can actually crouch in the tall grass. Enemies have like indicators for like how close they
Oh
are
yeah,
to
wasn't it
noticing
the older
you.
games? As soon as they got like the slightest crack of you, you were just spotted.
More or less, yeah.
Welcome
But
back to Metal Gear Nathan Drake.
more or less what, Jack? What were you going to say? The grappling hook is pretty neat. Like, that's an interesting mechanic that kind of expands the parkour gameplay of the game. Made for some enjoyable segments. I mean, I I like Sam. Sam is a pretty neat character. Uh, all the characters returning are great. The voice acting, just like with any Uncharted game, is fucking fantastic. And this fucking game, let me say, is the best goddamn looking video game I have ever played. The amount, like, this is the closest we have come to video game characters looking like real people. Like, it is, the facial animations in this game are literally the best we have ever seen in terms of like
Detail.
animation.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's face is like incredibly detailed, and like I know that's like a weird thing to like compliment and talk about so much, but it really is a fantastic looking game, like from a technical standpoint. I Blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, and like the levels, and I feel like this is actually kind of a case more here in this game than in some of the previous games. Like, the levels, I guess if you could call them levels, are actually really well designed. Like, the fucking level where you drive the buggy in like Africa, I'm pretty sure it was Africa. Um, that is like like ingeniously designed level. That is in just an incredible part of that game. Um, I yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say.
All right. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I'm done.
So,
So anyway, let me talk about No Man's Sky
oh
for
my
a bit.
god.
This is number 0.
But
Rest
not
in
really.
peace,
No,
Matthew Mercer.
Please continue.
All right. So, my number one game of the year, Landon had to give it away. I had a joke. I mean, obviously everybody knows what my number one game of the year is if they know me, but like, I had a joke and I was going to say that my number one game of the year was actually Digimon World Dawn and Dusk. And that I got in line.
Bad joke.
I got in line just to get this game. which had already been out for about 10 years now, by the way, because I'm pretty sure that... When did Dawn and Dusk come out? I don't even know.
Oh.
I don't
I don't
fucking
fucking
know.
know.
Justin, do you know?
Justin.
When Digimon World Dawn and Dusk came out?
Oh, like if I just
How about Google?
Anyway.
2008, I don't know.
Anyway, I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm going to continue talking about Pokemon Sun and Moon, which is my number one game of the year because it's fucking Pokemon, and
March 29th,
it's
2007.
It's not X and Y. Thank you. So I went into Sun and Moon pretty fucking hyped because I was honestly not that impressed with X and Y past Mega Evolution. Like, it was just, yay, Pokemon's in 3D again. Now it's like, I guess it's okay. But I went in and Alola's beautiful. The characters are fucking amazing. The music is, oh my god. Okay, this is one thing that nobody else mentioned about Pokemon Sun and Moon that I have to say right now, and that the music in Pokemon Sun and Moon is probably some of the fucking best goddamn Pokemon music in the entire fucking series. And I'll fight anyone who disagrees with me. I will literally fucking fight you. Fight me.
Don't fight me, faggot.
Because, okay.
You won't.
But in all seriousness, like, not even just battle music, because the battle music is fantastic, by the way, because X and Y, let's get this out of the way. X and Y, not a bad game. Music, though, completely fucking forgettable beyond, like, a few tracks. Completely fucking forgettable. Name, like, any song from X and Y besides Lumiose's.
Snowbell City.
Okay. You get one.
That one's my favorite.
I was going to say besides Lumiose City, because that's not fair, because you're stuck in that area for a very long time. So it would obviously be remembered. But, you know, a lot of the music to X and Y wasn't that great. But Sun and Moon, oh my god. There's music even in, like, the different parts of the overworld that are just so fucking good. The Aether Paradise theme is so fucking good.
You know, when you mentioned music, I was going to mention that fact that an unused track in Pokemon, or one of the tracks in Pokemon, like Yellow or something.
Yes, and then they did that for Victory. They did that for Victory Road and X and Y. What else is good? The fucking the Poke Ride water theme, basically the new surfing theme, is really fucking good. There's a route theme that I like. I know it's on Route 16 and a few other routes that I really like because it sounds like something out of like Gen 2, but like, oh my god, the music's so fucking good. And by the way, that was another thing that was not mentioned that you guys didn't talk about is Poke Rides removing HMs. There's that's one of the best decisions they've ever made. They don't just replace HMs, they also replace a few key items. But Tauros is basically your new bike, and it also is Rock Smash. Stoutland is your new item finder, and he still runs pretty fast. Lapras is your typical surfing Pokemon, but it also allows you to fish. Sharpedo, you can't actually fish, but you can surf and do Rock Smash on in the water because there's also like rocks in the water to break. Mudsdale's basically your new rock climb, but it's on like just rocky ground instead of like actual climbing up mountainsides. Who am I missing? Machamp is your new strength. It's just everything about Pokemon Sun and Moon, the Alola region, the characters, and with the Poke Rides, it's just everything comes together really well because it helps really convince you. It's like, yeah, this is a Pokemon game, but like you actually feel like there's for once in Pokemon's fucking history, there's a world building aspect to a Pokemon game. It's fucking amazing. The trials, Jack mentioned trials. They are really nice substitute for the gyms. You can still fight the trial captains, although they're not all mandatory, and then you fight Island Kahunas before moving on, like he said. They're basically a replacement for the gym leaders. I know a lot of people like to debate that the trial captains are more of like the gym leader equivalents, but I don't think that because, one, the Kahunas mechanically operate the same as gym leaders. They have their own theme. They give you boost in traded level obedience. They give you access to new areas. Like, they do everything a gym leader actually does, where the trial captains don't always do that. But the characters that are the trial captains and Kahunas are pretty much all really great. Like, it's there's a lot of Pokemon games where like I guarantee you there's somebody that just does not give a fucking rat's ass about like most of the gym leaders from like X region or Y region or Z region or like A2 region or whatever, but like the regional major characters type specialists of Sun and Moon are just great. Guzma, like and Team Skull, like Jack said, fucking they're my favorite team. Guzma's my favorite character in the game. Just saying that right now. The Aether Foundation, Lusamine are great characters. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's some things you expect to happen. There's some things you don't expect to happen. But they play a good part in the story. This is, last thing I wanted to mention. This is the first time in a very long time that Pokemon has actually made me give a fucking shit about the legendary Pokemon. After a while, I stopped caring. It was like, it's just these new really powerful Pokemon. They're just kind of there just because they need a powerful Pokemon. That's it. And X and Y really crushed that because they gave us like 2 legendary Pokemon, and then they added in Mewtwo and a bird for nostalgia, and that was it. But here, like the Ultra Beasts and the fucking mascot legendary, and there's a bunch of other like story spoiler shit, and there's the Tapu, like everything, even the legendaries are actually really cool. And then I think the only complaint I have about Sun and Moon actually is I mean, just like with X and Y, the post game could have been better. I mean, there's a little bit of post game. There was just a little bit. But my major complaint is the connectivity is dumb. Like, that's the only thing I wish I could have had back from X and Y, because like in X and Y you just tap the bottom screen, you're connected, you go online. X and Y, I'm in Sun and Moon, not the same. You have to go to like a festival plaza, which is kind of fun. There's also Pokepelago, which is kind of fun, but you have to be in Festival Plaza to connect. But everything else about Pokemon Sun and Moon is just, it's fucking good. I don't have anything else to say without repeating myself, so I'm done. 6 minutes and 46 seconds. I'm surprised I didn't go over. Justin,
Where's the fire?
you can tell us about your number 1.
Do I have to?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You at least have to tell us what it is.
No.
Does... Well, all I could say is it's something to do with Raccoon.
I got it.
Human stuff.
The name's Raccoon. It rhymes with... I'm not taking this away from you. What is it, Justin?
Doom.
Go ahead.
So...
You're going to be getting yours
And you're
soon.
gonna get yours too!
So, I have like a special like attachment to this game because it, I played the original 2 games on Ultra Violence because that's the only difficulty that you can play Doom on. I'm used to just fighting waves of enemies and slaughtering everything that comes my way and bathing in their blood. So, after I played Doom 3, I'm like, oh, this isn't fast-paced at all. Where the fuck are all my goddamn weapons? And then, Doom, this was supposed to be Doom 4, but then it just became Doom. Because everybody needs a reboot. That's fun, I guess. Except they didn't actually do the reboot too badly. As a matter of fact, they kind of combined Doom 1 and Doom 2 kind of almost in the same story, in a sense. Kind of weird way, but it still kind of works. I mean, because obviously there was no such thing as, like, Revenants or fucking Hell Knights or anything like that in the original Doom. But why the fuck not? Even though I fucking hate Revenants. Well, I don't hate them as much as I hate fucking Archviles. Fuck Archviles, those pieces of shit.
Well,
Fucking reviving enemies and causing me more fucking annoyances and goddamn pain elementals and their goddamn lost souls and fucking imps and the fucking heavy weapons guy and the fucking cacodemons flying all over the goddamn place.
Are you sure this is your game of the year? Because you're yelling in rage at it an awful lot.
Hey, you know how you tell a game is good? When it's actually good enough to kick your ass.
I mean, to be fair, Justin does tend to express his love in anger.
Well, yeah, that's essentially what the Berserk pack is. You just go fucking ape shit. You start ripping people's spines out and shit like that.
Oh, oh yeah, I forgot to mention also that Doom has a multiplayer, but
Yeah,
who cares?
That exists, apparently. Also, I will say that the chainsaw is a lot more useful than it was in the original Doom, because in the original Doom, the only thing that you'd ever really use the chainsaw on is on the pinkies, because they couldn't really get to you, and they just kind of walk right into it and die. Try to use that against like a bear in a hell, you're gonna get fucked. And I honestly got a bit of a wave of nostalgia from this game, because it's like, as I was playing through the game, like, not only did it really feel like Doom, but like it kind of it like hit me the more enemies I saw, because I actually did recognize these enemies. And the best part is they weren't using like their fucking Doom 3 designs, which were fucking odd. Like, the pinky was probably the worst one in that game. But like, I just like seeing, like, a lot of people say it stands out because there are these really 90s looking fucking designs, but they're in a modern game, and a lot of people think that's kind of weird. I don't think that, because it's Doom. I mean, this is probably like the silliest fucking shooter you'll ever play, and I mean silly by, this is some crazy shit going on that you probably never get from another shooter like it. So I think it can get away with really dated looking designs, like fucking the goat feet and everything, and just the general way, like the Cacodines look a little bit more modern. I think I'm mostly talking about the Baron of Hell, which literally does look like he was ripped straight from the original Doom. But I like that, because I like the old designs. I mean, it doesn't invoke nostalgia, and that's primarily why I like them. But I still think that, it's fitting for the whole game, because the game is pretty wacky. Just it's supposed to be almost kind of like serious. I mean, I guess you could say it is, because it's still kind of grim, and bad shit is happening. But it's still the fact that it's Doom, and it doesn't like take itself seriously. It likes to fuck around a lot. I mean, what's the last fucking shooter you played that had power-ups in it? So, and there's a lot of like Easter eggs and shit like that. Like, some of the secrets actually evolve around like, and the levels themselves even look like classic Doom shit. Like, there's this one particular level, old Doom fans will recognize immediately, where it looks like 4 platforms in this big ass room. And if anyone remembers that level, they would know that that same level was in Doom 2, where there were a shit ton of fucking Mancubus, and then once you took care of them, the walls would come down, and oh hi, there's a fuck ton of fucking Arachnotrons. It's like, oh goody, I'm glad they're not in this game. But and the game has actual proper fucking boss fights. Like, you got the Cyber Demon, he's a classic, but then you also got some like more unique ones. Like the Guardians, I think that's what they're called, the Hell Guardians or something like that. And they even managed to fit in the Spider Mastermind, which makes me really think that this is a reboot mostly of the original Doom, because of the fact that the Spider Mastermind was the final boss in the very first episode of the original Doom. So that was pretty cool. Oh wait, no, I don't think it was the first episode. I think it was the second. God damn it! Now I'm getting confused here, because I think the first one was those 2 Baron of Hell. Okay, it was. Okay, I'm stupid. Ignore everything I just said. It's a lie. But I think, because I'm just going to keep going and going and going, because this is Doom, and this is my childhood. Doom is definitely a game that I think really deserves a lot of its praise, because it was well crafted. It wasn't like, they didn't cut corners at all. Like, you can tell just by playing it that this was built up to be a modern Doom. And I think they succeeded in what they wanted to accomplish. Like, everything plays just right. Nothing feels too hard. The scaling is perfect. And you get all the iconic weapons that you could ever ask for. including some new additions. So the new weapons are also pretty welcome too. And of course, my favorite thing about the game, you even get to play the classic Doom levels if you manage to find them. So they even incorporated the old school fucking levels themselves.
You had 7 minutes. You're already wrapping up though, so.
Boy, you will shut the fuck up or I will stomp your face in. Anyway,
He'll do it, I swear.
anyway, but yeah, Doom is a fantastic game. Definitely deserving my top game of 2016 because I don't think I've ever had this much fun with a shooter in years.
Alright. Landon, it's our yearly tradition for you to tell us why we are all wrong, tell us what the correct number one game of the year is, and spend some time talking about it.
Why it's Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker?
Yes.
Yes.
You fucking know
Well, that's
it.
what it has to be,
You
obviously.
fucking know it.
That is the top game of the year, once again, for the 80th time in a row. And that's all I have to say, because obviously I've talked about Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker in the LP of Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker.
But for real, what is your top game of 2016? Landon's always got to do his little, like, having a stroke thing before he actually explains what his top game is.
I have nothing else to say. All I wrote down was Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. See? Here's my list that I'm posting right now in the chat for everyone to see the list I've been reading off this entire time. See? It's right there at the top.
That's your fake list. Now, where's your real one?
Oh, that's the fake list.
Shit!
Also,
Shit!
you skipped over Mighty Number 9 and Lexine's
Yeah, you
Quest
did.
2.
Darn it.
Shit!
And Life is Strange.
What? Those aren't on my list.
You
Anyway,
didn't talk about Life is Strange.
what game? What? Jack, that game came out last year. I can't talk
Yeah,
about that. Jack, you're an
You
idiot.
know what?
Anyway, my game of 2016 in 2019 is 7th Dragon 3 Code VFD. I bet everyone saw that one coming. Didn't you?
Actually, no.
Ha
Clue.
Exactly. That's why I won top 10 games of 2016, because I named all 4 of the top 4 games of the year. 7th Dragon Code 3 Code VFD is the first 7th Dragon 3. I'm sorry, hold on. It's the first 7th Dragon game to actually come out in America without needing like a patch or anything. It's actually the 4th game in the series. Imagine that, being called number 3. And it, like, references the other 3, but you don't have to have played the other ones to, like, understand this one. Because it sort of revolves around a new cast. It's actually, you create the party yourself type game. It's an RPG. If you couldn't tell by my extensive list of RPGs on this list. A couple. Only a
Landon
couple, though.
is the RPG lord.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, that's right. You've been keeping track on your notes too.
If you count the other 5, there's like 3 there as well. So there's 7 total.
But yes, I write these down because I need to remember what images to save.
Or you could just ask me for the list because I have it saved. Anyway,
Yeah, well, it's fun to write it.
no, it's not.
Shut up.
That involves writing. 7th Dragon 3 Code VFD is... It reminds me of old school Phantasy Star. Not that Phantasy Star Online bullshit that we have today. Rest in peace, Phantasy Star Online. It is like the old school Jenny games, which I do enjoy that combat style. But it takes that combat style and it cranks it up a notch with some of the different skills that you have access to. The one cool thing I think about this game that this game does is because you get to create your own parties, you get teams of 4, but you can have up to 3 teams, and you can switch between the teams sort of like when you're not in the middle of a fight. But the game also breaks it off into certain sections where you do have to use those other teams, so those other teams feel relevant at certain points. Also, they become sort of helpers later on, like when you unlock certain systems later in the game. I just thought it was a fun game. It had a neat story. Probably, like, the only complaints I really have are it's graphically, because it is on the 3DS, it's not the most graphically, like, amazing game, but it looks good, sounds good, has a really good soundtrack. It is one of those self-insert, like, video game character in the game, so you do have to deal with that. But I don't think that actually hinders the story. It actually does a good job making up for the fact that you're creating your own character, unlike other games in that sort of the story becomes lackluster because of that. Yeah, that's actually all I have to
see
say.
every Western RPG ever.
That's pretty much all I have to say on that.
All right. So, I guess that would about wrap it up, you guys. We've announced our top games of 2016. There was a lot of fun games. I mean, the only one of us that actually could not fill a list of 15 was Justin, and even then he managed to squeeze in a full 10. So, 2016, pretty good year for gaming. We all had our favorites, and we are glad that we could have you here, viewers, and Kay Bailey specifically. Hi, Kay Bailey. To join us and as we counted down what we liked. Is there anything we wanted to plug in as we usually do?
We have a Facebook account and a Twitter account. Don't look at those.
We don't use them.
Nope.
Well, actually, technically, we have automated posts to our Twitter, but we don't use our Facebook like at all.
We do when we upload.
Half the time we don't even do that.
What's that mean?
But
What does upload mean?
I don't
check
know.
out
You know
any of
what?
our LPs we are currently doing. We'll be if we're doing.
For real though.
Hey,
Real-
guys, you can't laugh at me. It's 2019. Who knows what we're doing at this point?
I'm gonna real talk. My New Year's resolution is to make more videos for Gaming Stooges.
I should probably be doing the same. What else? Well,
Yeah, Cloud. It's only been like a bajillion
much.
years.
But yeah, more reviews hopefully. Oh, no laughing at that. And we will obviously see you at the beginning of 2020 because it's definitely it's
Yeah, but Cloud. They're not gonna. They're just entering 2017.
true. We'll be
See, we're in like time purgatory.
We're in a
We'll-
hyperbolic
we'll-
time chamber.
We'll see you when it's 2018 for you guys, but it's gonna be 2020.
20XX.
My
Good night.
my game of the